Let's cut to the chase. Any way you slice it, these meats need to be served just right. Prosciutto is a cured ham with a smooth and buttery texture, made by salting and air-drying the meat, which gives it a unique, salty, sweet, and nutty flavor. When slicing prosciutto, use a very sharp knife to get thin, even slices. You should start by cutting off one end of the ham, then hold it in one hand and use the other to slowly slice down the length of the meat. Look for paper-thin slices that are almost see-through, allowing you to enjoy this distinctly flavored meat without overwhelming your palate. Prosciutto pairs well with a variety of other foods, making it a versatile addition to any charcuterie board. Some of our favorite pairings include melon, figs, grapes, and Parmesan cheese. Summer sausage dates back to pre-refrigeration Europe, so named because people could enjoy it in the summer due to its curing process. This type of meat is seasoned with a variety of different spices, giving it a unique flavor that is slightly sweet and spicy. You can use a food processor to slice your sausage, though it may be hard to get the beautifully even slices you'd want for a charcuterie board. Your best bet is to use a sharp knife that has been chilled or frozen so that it won't tear when slicing. The ideal thickness of summer sausage is up to you, but because of its robust flavor, keep your slices no bigger than half an inch. Summer sausage is tasty on its own, but pairs particularly well with crackers, mustard, and cheese. It also works well in cooked pasta dishes. Capicola is a cured ham that has a slightly sweet, smoky flavor and pairs well with cheeses, fruits, and other meats. Also called coppa or capicolo, capicola has a variety of seasonings like wine, fennel, and red pepper to give it flavor. Compared to the relatively buttery prosciutto, this meat is less fatty and more tender.
Capicola, over here.
Capicola is also commonly served thinly sliced for charcuterie boards. The best way to slice it is to use a deli slicing machine, but if you don't have one of these, you can also use a very sharp chef's knife. When slicing capicola, be sure to cut against the grain. This will help to prevent the slices from becoming overly tough, as is the case with most meats. When serving, capicola plays well with a variety of other meats, cheese, and crackers, making it a charcuterie superstar. Mortadella is a type of Italian cold cut that often contains pieces of fat. It's made from ground pork and seasoned with spices, including black pepper, and sometimes comes with the addition of pistachios or olives. The texture of mortadella can vary from quite smooth to slightly coarse. It has a sweet, rich flavor that pairs well with other salty or savory foods. There are 3 different types of this meat: mortadella bologna, mortadella di campotosto, and mortadella di prato. Mortadella bologna is the most common, while the other 2 varieties contain more flavors from spices and wine. Mortadella is usually served cubed or sliced. When cubing, aim for small, half-inch cubes that are easy to pick up with a toothpick. When slicing, you'll want relatively thin slices, but keep the slices thick enough to enjoy the texture. A pork roll is made from pork and a mixture of spices before it's cured in sugar, smoked, and then formed into a log. The log is then sliced and served in a variety of ways. The most popular is in a sandwich paired with egg and cheese, which is a New Jersey staple. You can find it at groceries in the Northeast, but you may have a harder time tracking it down elsewhere. Pork roll slices need to be cooked before serving. Make slices about as thin as Canadian bacon, using 4 to 6 cuts around the edge to keep it from curling while it cooks. It is traditionally served on a hard roll or bagel as part of a breakfast sandwich, but you can also use an English muffin or croissant. While you're at it, you may want to sample this meat on its own in individual slices. Etna salami gets its flavor from pistachios and lemon zest, while it gets its name from Mount Etna in Sicily. Sicily is known for its citrus fruit and pistachios, making their inclusion a nod to the crops of the region. This gives the salami a bright, unique flavor that you won't find in many other cuts of meat, as well as an interesting texture that's present in every bite. Etna salami is dense and hard, so it should be sliced thinly to get pieces that are relatively easy to chew. This meat is ideal for adding to sandwiches or combining with nuts, fruit, cheeses, and other meats. Cotto salami is cooked instead of cured like many other salamis, and it makes a wonderful addition to any charcuterie board. It's softer than cured salami and is linked to the Piedmont region of Italy. Its flavor is robust, but perfectly balanced thanks to a coarse grind and generous seasonings, which can include whole black peppercorns, chili flakes, garlic, cinnamon, and nutmeg. This salami should be sliced thin while it's cold and firm, though you want to allow it to reach room temperature before serving. Cotto salami is often sold in slices at the grocery store and has the same distinctive marbled appearance as pepperoni and other kinds of deli meat. Ideal pairings include olives, sweet red peppers, and provolone. Cotto salami also makes a fabulous addition to pizza in place of the traditional pepperoni pie. Saucisson d'Arles, or Arles salami, is a French style of salami that combines pork and sea salt without any other seasonings. This is a timeless sort of meat that goes well with almost anything because of its clean, mild flavor and tender texture. When preparing this meat, be sure to slice the salami on the bias so that each piece is about the thickness of a quarter. You can slice it thicker if you prefer, but keeping things small will allow you to fully enjoy the flavor without overwhelming your palate. Because the pure taste of Arles salami is meant to be appreciated on its own, you don't usually want to pair it with any cheeses or fruits with with particularly intense flavors. The best way to appreciate this French salami is to enjoy it with a French wine. Jamón Ibérico originates in Spain and is made from the hind leg of Iberian pigs that are fed a diet of acorns and grass and live a truly luxurious lifestyle. In the fall and winter, the Iberian pigs are released to roam and eat the acorns that have fallen from trees in the fields, fattening them up to create the flavor of Jamón Ibérico. After the pigs are slaughtered, the ham is dry cured for several months, resulting in a unique flavor that is salty, sweet, and slightly nutty. The meat is dark red, well marbled, and simply exquisite. Jamón Ibérico should be sliced very thin to help you appreciate its rich flavors without being overwhelmed. For the best results, use a jamón knife, which is flexible, light, and extremely sharp. Chorizo Andalucia is a type of Spanish sausage made with pork, paprika, garlic, and other spices. It is typically bright red and has a distinct flavor that's slightly sweet and smoky. Chorizo Andalucia is typically sold in links or rounds and can be either fresh or cured. When slicing Chorizo Andalucia, cut slices that are about a quarter-inch thick. This will allow you to savor the flavors without being overpowered by the experience. Chorizo Andalucia is often found in Spanish tapas dishes. It is also welcome on any charcuterie board, served with bread, olives, and cheese. Like most cured meats, it pairs well with a glass of red wine. Landrauchschinken is a traditional Swiss smoked ham. This classic country dish is first aged for 18 days in sea salt, followed by a caramel coating, a generous dose of juniper and rosemary seasoning, and finally, a round of applewood smoking. Landrauchschinken's wonderful combination of sweet herbs and caramelized sugar, together with its buttery and smoky flavor, makes it practically melt in your mouth when you finally get to eat it. To properly enjoy Landrauchschinken, it should be thinly sliced like prosciutto. This will allow you to fully savor the flavor without being overwhelmed by all the spices and fatty taste.
I mean, look how thin that is. See, that's all surface area. The taste has nowhere to hide.
And if you buy the entire ham, don't forget to remove the skin first. Because it is a Swiss ham, this meat should pair well with a Swiss cheese like Comté or Gruyere. It's also fantastic with some soft bread such as brioche or a baguette. This tasty little ham gets its name because it offers just enough meat to share with your sweetheart. But it's not just the name that's sweet. Sweetheart ham is a sirloin tip ham taken from the top of the leg and placed in a brine made from fresh herbs, garlic, and onion for at least 10 days. These boneless hams are then smoked over applewood chips for around 10 hours. The whole process allows the inside of the ham to remain juicy and soft, while the outside develops a rich brown crust full of flavor. You can serve sweetheart ham like other ham steaks, meaning it makes an excellent addition to a breakfast plate of eggs, pancakes, waffles, and fruit. The ham can also be thinly sliced and put on a sandwich, or cubed if you really want it to be part of your charcuterie board. Pepperettes are smoked on-the-go meat sticks that were trademarked by Schneider's. Today, the term also refers to any small, snackable salami with a mild enough flavor to be enjoyed on its own. You can find these products at many grocery stores, delis, and butcher shops. Pepperettes are typically made from smoked pork and contain different spices for distinguished flavors. While many pepperette varieties have a similar flavor profile as that of pepperoni, they are less fatty and more dense. The texture is also firmer, which makes these easier to eat as snacks. You can enjoy pepperettes cold or at room temperature as part of a charcuterie board with other cured meats, cheeses, and pickled vegetables. They also pair well with crackers, baguettes, or pretzels. Pork pistachio pâté is a type of pâté made from, you guessed it, pork and pistachios. It has a smooth, creamy texture and a rich, nutty flavor. You'll get a subtle crunch from the pistachios and herbaceous flavor from red wine, fresh thyme, and shallots. This pâté goes well with crusty bread, jam, and a bottle of red wine to bring out its nuance. When purchasing pork pistachio pâté, look for a product made with quality ingredients and a good balance of fat and protein. To serve, simply place slices on crackers, bread, or vegetables. While it may be tempting to spread this soft meat, you should keep the texture as is so you can truly appreciate everything pork pistachio pâté has to offer. Be sure to store it in the refrigerator, but serve at room temperature.